Captain Marcus Webb stood at the observation deck of the Frontier Dawn, watching the swirling colors of the Andromeda Gateway collapse behind them. His reflection stared back from the reinforced glass, a weathered face marked by 15 years of deep space exploration, gray streaks threading through his dark hair. Beyond the window, an alien sky stretched endlessly, painted in hues no human eye had witnessed before today. "Jump complete, Captain," announced Lieutenant Sarah Chen from the navigation console. "All systems nominal. We're officially farther from Earth than any human has ever traveled." Marcus nodded slowly, his fingers drumming against the cold metal railing. The Frontier Dawn hummed beneath his boots, a comforting vibration that reminded him the ship was alive and functioning. Around him, his crew worked with practiced efficiency, their voices calm despite the magnitude of what they'd just accomplished. "Distance from Earth?" Marcus asked. 2.7 million light-years, sir," Chen replied. "The Andromeda Galaxy. We're here." A collective breath seemed to pass through the bridge. They were explorers, scientists, dreamers, 43 souls who'd left everything behind to push humanity's boundaries beyond imagination. The mission had taken 3 years of preparation, and now they floated in uncharted space, alone. "Dr. Patel, what are the scanners showing?" Marcus turned toward the science station where Dr. Rajesh Patel hunched over his displays, his dark eyes reflecting streams of data. "Captain, you need to see this." Patel's voice carried an edge of excitement. "I'm detecting an artificial structure. Massive. Approximately 8 million kilometers from our current position." Marcus crossed the bridge in 3 strides. The holographic display materialized above Patel's console, showing a geometric anomaly against the star field, a station or perhaps a ship, its architecture unlike anything in human records. "Artificial?" Marcus repeated. "You're certain?" "The mathematical precision is undeniable, sir. Those angles, that symmetry, nature doesn't build like that." Patel enlarged the image. The structure resembled a crystalline flower, its petals spreading outward from a central core, each surface reflecting starlight in perfect patterns. Engineer Tom Harrison whistled low from his station. "That thing's gotta be at least 500 kilometers across. Maybe bigger." Marcus felt his pulse quicken. First contact. The possibility had always existed, buried in mission parameters and theoretical discussions, but actually encountering evidence of alien intelligence, this changed everything. "Any signals? Radio, quantum, anything?" Patel shook his head. "Nothing active. If it's occupied, they're not broadcasting. Or they're using technology we can't detect yet." "Could be abandoned," offered Chen. "A relic from a dead civilization." "Or they're watching us right now," Harrison added. "Waiting to see what we do." Marcus studied the hologram, his mind racing through protocols. Every decision from this moment forward would echo through history. Approach or retreat? Investigate or report back? His crew looked to him, trusting his judgment. "How long to reach it at current velocity?" he asked. 19 hours, sir," Chen calculated. "We could cut that in half if we push the engines." "No. We go slow and careful. Chen, plot an approach vector. Keep us at a respectful distance, let's not crowd them if someone's home. Harrison, I want all sensors recording. Everything. Patel, analyze every wavelength coming from that structure. If it's so much as hiccups, I want to know about it." "Aye, Captain," came the synchronized response. Marcus activated the ship-wide intercom. "All hands, this is the captain. As of 1700 hours, we've detected an artificial structure of unknown origin. We're approaching to investigate. This is what we came for, people. Stay sharp, stay professional, and remember, we represent humanity out here. Web out." He released the intercom and moved back to the observation deck. The structure wasn't visible yet to the naked eye, but knowing it was there sent electricity through his veins. Somewhere in the darkness ahead, evidence of another intelligent species waited. Captain. Chen's voice broke his thoughts. Personal question, sir. What do you think we'll find? Marcus considered the question carefully. Honestly? I don't know, Lieutenant. Maybe wisdom. Maybe danger. Maybe just empty rooms and forgotten dreams. But whatever it is, we're going to face it together. That's what humans do, we explore, we learn, we adapt. We've survived ice ages and plagues, built civilizations from nothing, and reached for the stars when everyone said it was impossible. If there's something out there, friendly or otherwise, they're about to meet the species that never stops climbing. Chen smiled. I like those odds, sir. So do I, Lieutenant. So do I. The Frontier Dawn sailed forward through the cosmic dark, its human crew alert and ready. Behind them, Earth was an impossible distance, a memory of home suspended in another galaxy entirely. Ahead, the mysterious structure grew incrementally larger with each passing hour, its secrets waiting to be discovered. Marcus watched the stars and felt something he hadn't experienced in years, pure, unfiltered hope mixed with the sharp edge of uncertainty. This was the moment humanity had dreamed about since the first ancestors looked up at the night sky and wondered if they were alone. Now, 2.7 million light-years from home, they were about to find out. 17 hours into their approach, the Frontier Dawn drifted silently through space, its crew operating on minimal sleep and maximum caffeine. Marcus had tried resting in his quarters, but sleep proved impossible. His mind churned with questions, scenarios, contingencies, the weight of command pressing harder than ever before. He returned to the bridge to find Dr. Patel still hunched over his console, eyes bloodshot but gleaming with fascination. Doctor, when did you last sleep? Marcus asked. Patel glanced up, blinking as if just remembering his body needed rest. Sleep. Captain, I'm looking at technology that shouldn't exist according to our current understanding of physics. This structure is generating a stable quantum field across its entire surface. Do you understand what that means? We can barely maintain quantum coherence in laboratory conditions for microseconds. This thing has been doing it for, well, I can't even estimate how long. Marcus leaned over the console, studying the new data streams. What else have you found? The composition is extraordinary. Crystalline matrices interwoven with metallic compounds we can't identify. The material seems to shift properties based on exposure to different radiation wavelengths. It's like it's alive, Captain. Not biological, but responsive. Adaptive. Any signs of power generation? That's the strangest part. Patel pulled up a thermal scan. No heat signature. No radiation leakage. No electromagnetic emissions we'd associate with conventional power systems. Yet something is maintaining that quantum field. Energy has to come from somewhere, that's basic thermodynamics. Lieutenant Chen interrupted from navigation. Captain, we've reached the position you specified. Holding at 500,000 kilometers from the structure. Marcus straightened. Through the observation window, the alien station now dominated the view, a magnificent crystalline construct that caught and refracted starlight into rainbows across its surface. Each petal-like section seemed to pulse with inner luminescence, patterns of light flowing across the structure in waves. It's beautiful, whispered Chen. It's terrifying, countered Harrison from engineering. Something that advanced, and we have no idea who built it or why. That's what we're here to find out. Marcus moved to the command chair. Patel, launch a probe. Full sensor suite. Let's get a closer look. Launching probe Alpha, Patel confirmed. On the main display, a small sphere detached from the Frontier Dawn and accelerated toward the structure. The crew watched in tense silence as the probe crossed the distance, its cameras transmitting high-resolution images back to the ship. The detail became breathtaking as the probe closed in. The structure's surface was covered in intricate patterns, geometric designs that seemed mathematical yet artistic, purposeful yet beautiful. Symbols or writing perhaps, though unlike any language human linguists had ever catalogued. Probe is at 50,000 kilometers, Patel narrated. 40,000. 30,000. The structure suddenly blazed with light. Every screen on the bridge flared white. Harrison shouted a warning. Chen's hands flew across her console. Marcus gripped the armrests of his chair, his heart hammering. Then, as quickly as it began, the light faded. The structure returned to its gentle pulsing glow, unchanged and serene. Report. Marcus barked. Probe is still functional, Patel said, his voice shaky. All systems nominal. But Captain, the structure just scanned it. I detected a focused energy beam, some kind of advanced sensor sweep. It examined our probe down to the molecular level in less than 3 seconds. So they know we're here, Chen said quietly. They've always known we're here, Harrison muttered. Question is, what are they going to do about it? Marcus stood, straightening his uniform jacket. Patel, continue the probe's approach. Nice and slow. Let them see we're not hostile. Communications, prepare a first contact package, mathematics, basic physics, hydrogen spectrum. The standard greeting protocols. Sir, they just demonstrated technology centuries beyond ours, Harrison said. You really think our welcome message matters to them? It matters to us, Marcus replied firmly. We make the gesture because that's who we are. We reach out with open hands, even when we're afraid. Especially when we're afraid. The probe continued its approach, transmitting data with each kilometer. The structure's details became clearer, docking ports perhaps, or windows, chambers within chambers, complexity upon complexity. No movement. No ships departing to intercept. Just patient, watchful silence. 20,000 kilometers, Patel counted. 15,000. 10,000. A section of the structure opened. Not a door sliding aside or a hatch lifting, but the material itself simply became permeable, creating an opening where solid surface had been moments before. Beyond the opening, soft blue light beckoned. They're inviting us in, Chen breathed. Or it's a trap, Harrison said. That opening is exactly the right size for our probe. They measured it during that scan. This could be the universe's most advanced mousetrap. Marcus studied the opening, his mind weighing risks against rewards. They'd come 2.7 million light-years for this moment. Everything humanity had dreamed about, feared, and hoped for hung in the balance. Send the probe through, he ordered. Captain, Harrison started. Send it through, Doctor. Patel's fingers moved across his controls. The probe adjusted course, approaching the opening with deliberate slowness. Every sensor on the Frontier Dawn focused on that single point in space, recording everything. The probe crossed the threshold and disappeared into the blue light. For 3 seconds, nothing happened. Then the probe's signal returned, now transmitting from inside the structure. I'm getting telemetry, Patel said, his voice filled with wonder. Captain, you need to see this. The main display shifted to show the probe's camera feed. The interior space was vast, a chamber hundreds of kilometers across, filled with structures that defied easy description. Platforms floated without visible support. Energy cascaded between towering crystalline pillars. And at the center of it all, something that made Marcus's breath catch. A chamber, smaller than the rest, clearly designed for living beings. Inside it, shapes moved, shadowy forms that seemed to shift and flow like liquid mercury, never quite solidifying into fixed forms. Contact, Marcus whispered. We have contact. The shadowy forms approached the probe, and one of them reached out with something approximating a hand. It touched the probe's hull gently, almost curiously. Then the transmission filled with sound, not words, but music. Mathematical patterns woven into harmonies that human ears could recognize as beautiful, even if human minds couldn't fully comprehend them. It was a greeting, Marcus realized. A hello sung across the vastness of space by beings so different from humanity that they existed as living equations. "They're speaking to us," Chen said, tears streaming down her face. "No," Marcus corrected, feeling his own eyes burning. "They're welcoming us home. To the universe. To the family we never knew we had." The music swelled, and in that moment, every doubt, every fear, every worry about humanity's place in the cosmos seemed to dissolve. They were not alone. They had never been alone. The question was no longer whether humanity belonged among the stars. The answer, sung in mathematical harmonies by beings of living light, was yes. Marcus stood transfixed by the display, watching the shadowy forms dance around the probe in patterns that seemed both random and perfectly choreographed. The mathematical music continued, rising and falling in waves that resonated somewhere deep in his chest, a frequency that spoke to something primal and universal. "Captain, I'm detecting changes in the structure's quantum field," Patel announced, his voice trembling with excitement. "It's synchronizing with our probe systems. I think they're trying to establish a translation matrix." "Can they access our computer systems?" Harrison asked, tension creeping into his voice. "They already have," Patel replied. "But they're not taking anything, they're giving. They're downloading information into our probe's memory banks. Languages, mathematics, physics, Captain, this is a gift. They're teaching us how to communicate." The music shifted, becoming more structured, more recognizable. Patterns emerged that human ears could follow, mathematical progressions that human minds could grasp. The shadowy forms solidified slightly, their shapes becoming more defined, as if adjusting themselves to be more comprehensible to human perception. Then, through the probe speakers, words formed. Stilted and strange, layered with harmonics that made them sound like entire orchestras speaking in unison, but words nonetheless. "Welcome, travelers, from distant light." The bridge fell silent. Every crew member stared at the display, barely breathing. Marcus found his voice. "Communications, route our response through the probe. Let's talk to them." He cleared his throat, choosing his words carefully. "We are humans from Earth, a planet in the Milky Way galaxy. We come in peace, seeking knowledge and friendship." The pause felt eternal. Then the response came, smoother now, the translation matrix refining itself with each exchange. "We are the resonance. We have waited long for others to cross the void between spirals. You are the first in 17 million cycles to accept our invitation." 17 million cycles. Marcus tried to grasp the timescale and failed. These beings had been waiting longer than humanity had existed, perhaps longer than Earth itself had harbored life. "Why did you invite us?" Marcus asked. "How did you even know we were coming?" "We felt your presence the moment you entered this spiral. Your quantum signature ripples across spacetime like music across water. We built this way station when we understood that young species require courage to reach across the dark. We give them a light to find." Chen wiped her eyes. "They built this entire structure just to welcome explorers?" "Not just this one," the resonance replied, apparently monitoring all communications aboard the ship. "We have built 10,000 such way stations across 10,000 galaxies. We seed the universe with welcome because we remember our own first steps into the darkness. We remember the fear. We remember the loneliness. No species should journey alone." Marcus felt something shift in his understanding of the cosmos. Humanity wasn't stumbling blindly through an indifferent universe. Someone had been preparing the way, leaving lights in the darkness for species brave enough to venture forth. "What do you want from us?" Harrison asked, voicing the question that hung in everyone's mind. "Want? We want nothing. We offer everything. Knowledge. Friendship. Partnership in the great work." "What work?" "Survival. Growth. Understanding. The universe is vast and ancient, filled with wonders and dangers you cannot yet imagine. Some species hide in their home systems, afraid of the dark. Others expand with violence, consuming everything they touch. A few, like you, reach out with curiosity and hope. Those are the ones we seek. Those are the ones who join the communion. Communion? Marcus leaned forward. What is that? A gathering of the willing. Species from 100,000 worlds, sharing knowledge, protecting each other, exploring together. We do not rule. We do not demand. We offer membership to those who prove themselves worthy through courage and compassion. You have shown both by coming here. The bridge erupted in whispered conversations. Membership in a galactic community, it was beyond anything they'd hoped for, beyond humanity's wildest dreams. What would membership require? Marcus asked. Only what you already possess. Curiosity. Willingness to learn. Respect for life in all its forms. You would receive access to our collective knowledge, sciences beyond your current understanding, technologies that will transform your species, maps of safe passages through the cosmos. In return, you would contribute your own unique perspective. Every species sees the universe differently. Your insights will enrich us all. Marcus thought of Earth, billions of humans going about their lives unaware that this conversation was happening. He thought of the wars, the struggles, the divisions that plagued his species. Then he thought of the astronomers who mapped the stars, the engineers who built impossible ships, the dreamers who never stopped asking what lay beyond the next horizon. We would be honored, Marcus said slowly, but I cannot speak for my entire species. I'm just one captain with one ship. You speak for those who dream, the resonance replied. That is enough to begin. Take our gift of knowledge back to your world. Share what you have learned. Others will come, and we will welcome them as we welcome you. The communion grows one friendship at a time, one shared moment of wonder at a time. The shadowy forms in the chamber began to glow brighter, their shapes becoming almost beautiful in their alienness. The probe's memory banks filled with data, star charts, scientific principles, cultural archives from hundreds of species, warnings about dangerous regions of space, invitations to other way stations. There is one more thing we must show you, the resonance said. A gift specifically for you, Captain Marcus Webb, and your crew of the Frontier Dawn. The view shifted. The probe's cameras turned to reveal another chamber opening within the structure. Inside, something floated in suspended animation, a seed, or perhaps an egg, organic yet crystalline, pulsing with the same gentle light as the structure itself. What is that? Patel breathed. A beginning. Plant it on your world, in a place of significance. It will grow into a living way station, a piece of the communion on your own soil. Through it, you will be able to communicate with us across the void. You will never be alone again. Marcus felt tears on his cheeks and didn't bother wiping them away. Thank you. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for the light in the darkness. Thank you for having the courage to follow it. Now return home, Marcus Webb. Tell your people that the universe is filled with friends they have not yet met. Tell them that the lonely ages are ending. Tell them that humanity is welcome among the stars. The probe began to retreat, gently guided back through the opening by invisible forces. The seed followed, encased in a protective field that would preserve it during the journey home. As the probe emerged from the structure, the opening sealed behind it, the material becoming solid and whole again. The resonance's final words echoed through the communications system, "We will see you again, friends from Earth." This is not goodbye. This is hello. The Frontier Dawn recovered its probe, secured the precious seed in the ship's most protected vault, and turned toward the Andromeda Gateway. The crew worked in awed silence, each processing what they'd witnessed in their own way. Marcus stood at the observation deck, watching the way station recede into the distance. It continued its patient vigil, waiting for the next brave species to cross the void, ready to offer the same welcome it had extended across millions of years to countless explorers. Captain. Chen appeared beside him. What do we tell Earth when we get back? Marcus smiled, feeling lighter than he had in years. We tell them the truth. That humans took a leap into the unknown and found friends waiting. That the universe isn't a cold, empty place, it's a home we're just beginning to explore. And that the greatest adventure in human history is just beginning. Think they'll believe us? Some will. Some won't. But it doesn't matter. We have the proof, the knowledge, and most importantly, we have the seed. When it grows and blooms on Earth, when everyone can see the way station with their own eyes and hear the resonances welcome, then they'll understand. Humanity isn't alone. We never were. The Frontier Dawn aligned itself with the gateway coordinates, its engines humming with power. Behind them, the Andromeda galaxy sparkled with newfound meaning. Ahead, the long journey home beckoned. Marcus settled into the command chair one last time before the jump. All hands, this is the captain. Prepare for gateway transit. We're going home. As the ship leaped across the impossible distance between galaxies, Marcus closed his eyes and listened to the echo of mathematical music still resonating in his memory. Humanity had reached across the void with trembling hands and been embraced by the cosmos itself. The lonely ages were ending. The age of communion was beginning. And humanity, for all its flaws and struggles, had earned its place among the stars.